The following is brought to you by Sports Radio New York.
Joining us right now from Newsday, Neil Best. He's a sports media reporter. He also does the outstanding Watchdog blog, which is becoming famous nationwide all over the country. Neil, Mike Carver at Sports Talk 1240. How you doing this evening?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Getting into it right away, I was reading one of your latest posts about the newspaper in Westchester with the with Facebook and Twitter and everything that's going on now, how the media is changing. How has the life of a reporter changed with all the new technology we got going on?
Oh, well, that's a big question, but I mean, there's good and bad things about it. It's obviously, in some ways, it makes the job easier because we get feedback from all kinds of people or tips from all kinds of people, and obviously researching things is easier than it used to be. But the flip side of it, of course, is there's a lot more stuff to do. There's more, we just this past week, our editors specifically encouraged, well, more than encouraged, almost told us to use Twitter as another means of communicating and also kind of linking to the stuff on Newsday's site. And it's really just endless. I mean, one thing is I'm happy I'm not a beat writer anymore, like a team beat, like on the Giants beat.
Back in the Giant days, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did that as recently as 2004, but that's changed so much even since then. What these guys are trying to beat each other on their blogs or tweets or whatever, by 10 seconds, they think it's a coup to beat somebody on a story, where, of course, when I was doing it, you were just trying to get it in the paper before the next guy. So, like I said, I mean, in some ways it's made it much more complicated, but in other ways it's sort of more fun, and it's also, some parts of it are easier than they used to be.
And with everything else, with what we were just saying, is there going to be a day, let's say it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, are the newspapers going to be able to survive all this, how fast everything gets on the internet nowadays? It's a good question.
Well, I mean, the print version of the papers is ultimately not going to be able to survive, or at least not as the, they may survive in a different, with a different mission, almost like magazines used to be, with more perspective and analysis and stuff like that. But certainly the newspaper websites will remain an important source of information. I mean, because the bottom line, and this is kind of an ongoing debate with what's going on with newspapers, is with all of our troubles, we're still the primary news-gathering entities in the country, and that just can't be allowed to go away. It's just not good for society, not good for a democratic society. So, yeah, I think ultimately at some point the print version of the papers will go away as we have known them, but certainly at this stage the web version of newspapers aren't going anywhere.
I notice most of the newspapers now, for their websites, they actually do charge for the content now. How long till Newsday starts doing that?
Well, that's going to, well, right now most still don't, but most of them are at least planning to. I mean, that's going to be, I think, in the next 1 to 2 years, that's going to be the biggest trend in newspapers online. Is definitely, now that the advertising just can't keep up, everyone's kind of realized that's the only choice. And Newsday is definitely planning to do it. I don't know the exact timetable, but it could be as early as this fall that we have. Now, I don't know exactly how it's going to work. I mean, I think, although this is just me talking, I haven't heard this from an official person, but I think Cablevision subscribers and Newsday subscribers will probably get it free, but there will be some kind of pay model, yeah. Because until the last couple of years, everyone thought the advertising would continue to grow exponentially to pay for this stuff, and now we've come to realize that is not going to happen, and that means, obviously, to survive, we got to get some kind of revenue.
Absolutely. And now, thankfully, I'm a Cablevision subscriber, so I won't have to pay to keep reading.
I'm not promising.
I know you're not promising, but at least, because I read the blog pretty much on a daily basis, so I don't want to lose the Watchdog blog. So.
Well, I appreciate it. No, I do. Again, I think it'll be something like what they do at News 12 Long Island's website, which is, like I said, if you're a Cablevision subscriber, I believe you'll get it for free, and that'll just be an extra perk of choosing Cablevision over its competitors like Verizon, DirecTV, etc. So, yeah, we'll see. They haven't announced anything yet.
All right, so hopefully we got some time with us. Moving on over to baseball. Great column last Friday on John Sterling, who was definitely a love or a hate personality in this city. I kind of get the sense from reading the article that Johnny, he kind of really doesn't mind all the negative criticism that he gets from everybody.
Well, I mean, that's what he said to me, and people who know him better than me say it does bother him, but, I think he's trying to be philosophical about it, which he should. Luckily, he did admit that even at his stage, there's things he can learn and improve on, which, I think is certainly true in his case. I mean, my take on him is that, I think that his shtick and his home run calls, I mean, he does have that distinctive thing he brings to the table, but there's no doubt that when you listen to him for 3 hours, if you listen to an entire game, there's no question he does some weird stuff that you just don't hear from a guy like, let's say, a Howie Rose. And, I think that some of the criticism a lot of the criticism is very legitimate, but I also think, like I wrote, that the reality is that 10, 20, 30 years from now, people will look back at him as a sort of this iconic announcer and remember some of his shtick fondly, the way people my age do with Phil Rizzuto and the way people older than me do with Mel Allen. And that's just the way it's going to be, even though there's no question he does some weird stuff.
Did we ever get an answer to what his real age is?
As far as I can tell, it's 71. I mean, it's definitely either 70, 71, 72, somewhere in that vicinity, even though he doesn't want to talk about it. His Wikipedia page had him at 61 last time I looked, but I'm pretty sure he's 71.
Because there was a lot of stuff flying around the blog about a lot of people were saying how old he might be, and I just wonder if we ever got to the bottom of
people who follow this stuff. This guy Dave Halberstam, we used to do St. John's play-by-play when I covered St. John's, and he was an executive at Westwood One, but he's really a sports broadcasting historian, especially radio. And he gave me all kinds of evidence, all of which pointed to the fact that John's 71. So that's what I'm going to go with.
And he's got a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old, right?
Vin Scully's 82. I mean, there's not that I'm saying John is at the caliber of Vin Scully, but in terms of energy level, I mean, there's certainly people that age who are successful announcers, so that's not going to stop him. He's been annoying people, those who don't like him. He's been annoying them since he was much younger than he is now. So
hey, if he's 71, he looks pretty good for 71. So
yeah, he does every single inning of every single game.
He never misses a game.